Let's talk about discipline at work. The first thing that popped into my head when I was doing my research on discipline is that I would imagine that working somewhere that boasts or brags that they never have a dull moment or you never have the same day twice probably isn't something that sounds super attractive to you, especially if discipline is like in your top five. You like order and predictability, and a role that doesn't naturally have that or let you create that probably isn't going to be the ideal role for you. However, you are good at creating order and structure, and you're particularly skilled at managing limited resources. So if it sounds energizing to you to work in an unorganized and chaotic environment with few resources, because it means you can create the order and structure that you would love to see, then you do you. Don't let me tell you where you should and should not be working. It's just something to note, like, do you enjoy the idea of being in chaos and creating the structure and order, or do you need to be working somewhere where that structure and order already sort of exists and you can just maybe capitalize on it or improve it with your own, ability to create order and structure? Totally up to you. I would imagine that when you are working on a team, you are like is constantly creating or revising systems, structures, plans, reporting methods, etc., in order to create more efficiency for your team and also make sure that they reach their goals in a timely and efficient manner. If you're an individual contributor, your boss doesn't really need to check it on you. They don't really need to worry about you meeting your deadlines or your goals. It's like baked into you to have that plan and execute on that plan. I was thinking about someone with this strength in a leadership role in an organization that's maybe more chaotic or unorganized or lacking in resources. And it was a little soft spot in my heart because I worked in lots of environments like that. And my guess is that it's likely that your direct reports are kind of unaware of the full level of chaos that the organization you're working for might be in, the disorganization, because you're so good at bringing order and stability to chaotic and messy situations that they don't even know, right? You're that, like, thank you for being that filter. Thank you for being that buffer and taking everything that's happening up here and creating something that your direct reports can really work toward and understand and know the limitations and know the expectations, right? That's a really big benefit to a team if you are someone that has this strength high in a less than organized environment. I will say that people with this strength high can sometimes get overwhelmed with the details because you're so, trying to make everything make sense and create structure and rules and routines that sometimes when there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of details, you can get a little lost in that. And you might find it challenging to actually create order the way that you normally would. In these types of situations, I would just say it's important to recognize what's happening, take a step back, and maybe seek out some support from other people and kind of sifting through the details to find the most important information so that you can create the strategy and the plan and, the order that you so crave and that people have come to expect from you. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to always be able to do everything on your own. And sometimes if you're feeling lost in the chaos, it can be helpful to bring in another set of eyes, another thought partner, another set of strengths. Now, I've mentioned this with a couple of other strengths, but this bodes well for you also, especially if you are a leader of a team. Look out for or keep an eye out for times when you start to feel frustrated about how messy other people's processes might be to accomplishing a task or reaching a goal. And in those situations, really, really try to focus on the result. Again, it's this question that I have given to a couple of strengths thus far, and I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to give it to you again in another video today. But is it more important how the work gets done or that the work gets done? It is okay if it's important to you how the work gets done. It's just not every single thing that you give to a direct report can be so focused on the how. Only a couple things. You gotta be judicious with that. The rest of it, it's just important that you're clear about the outcomes that you expect and that people can use whatever processes they need to get to that clear outcome. Okay. Regardless of your position in an organization or your role or just like the organization overall, one potential blind spot to look out for is the perception of others that you are resistant to change, which can be true. You can be resistant to change. Maybe it's because, you finally created the organization and process that you really craved, or because, what you're doing seems to be working. So why do we need to change it now? But sometimes change is inevitable. Sometimes it kind of comes out of nowhere. There's a crisis, there's a financial challenge, whatever it is in the workplace. You're going to have to change at some point. So, two things that I would recommend to kind of center yourself in a moment of chaos and change when you feel like you've kind of been settled and now you're unsettled is this. The first thing to do is ask why. And I know that this can be frustrating to leadership at times, but if you're being asked to kind of really diverge from the plan, it's okay to ask why. For you, understanding the reason for the change could maybe help you reorient to the new way of doing things. There's also this piece of leaning into your strength of discipline in these moments of chaos, of unexpected change. Because if you like creating order, then lean into it, right? People just threw something at you. You have to completely start from scratch. And whatever it is you were doing, you have to create a completely new plan. Instead of feeling like shaken up by that and stressed out about it, can you shift your mindset to say, cool, I get to lean into my natural strength now, and I get to recreate all of the order that I want and all of the organization and create new systems for productivity and organization, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just maybe one way that you can start to look at change so that it feels less unsettling to you. All right, that's what I've got for discipline at work. In the next video, we will talk about discipline in life. I will see you over there.